Hey,
Well, hello there, everybody. Nice to see you back.
Welcome back to the show.
What's going on, everybody? How's it going? If this is your first time, we want to genuinely say welcome. This is a Battle Bros podcast with Mac and Alamo. This is a fun little show that we do every Saturday. Jesus,
Friday.
I can tell we're Friday. And for the folks that are speaking Spanish, how do you say that, Alamo?
Viernes.
Viernes. Yeah. Viernes or
Viernes.
Viernes. Okay, I forgot. My bad. We do this show every Friday night at 9 o'clock. We're two friends that have known each other for a long time, and we talk about various issues relating to the veteran populace. Also, kind of throw in some stuff with first responders, law enforcement, firefighter, paramedic, EMT, first responder, that kind of stuff. So everybody is welcome here to listen to our show, but we want to say thanks for checking us out. If this is your first time, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome as well, and thanks. So, how you doing, bro? How was your week?
The home stretch to buying a house, man. Stressful as.
Oh, that's right.
I'm trying not to say it. I want to be a good boy today.
The sound kind of wearing off. I don't know if you did that on purpose, but the sound was like it just pulled out. It was kind of crazy.
You mean like the that was me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was trying not to say the actual word because
we're gonna try to be good little boys today.
I think we met our quota last episode.
Oh yeah. we totally did.
Yeah. So today, ladies and gents, military and civilians, for first responders alike, we will be talking about,
but most importantly, members of the Bro Legion.
We will be talking about stress. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Lord knows I felt a lot of that this week.
So, and it's funny we're talking about this because we were actually going to try to do something a little bit more on the comedic and humorous side of things.
Mm-hmm.
But then when we were having one of our phone calls that we have throughout the week, we were like, dude, I'm stressed the hell out. And he's just like, yeah, me too. I was like, let's talk about stress. And he was like, yeah.
It was a John moment.
We had a John. Yeah. We had that John epiphany.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So let's get right into this. We're gonna not pull any punches. We're not gonna waste any time. Let's get right into the meat and potatoes of the subject here.
We're not gonna dawdle.
Yep. Okay, seriously, stop doing an Irish accent better than the Irish guy. That's kind of messed up. Okay, you do everything else. Leave the potatoes alone. Don't be touching me potatoes. All right. Just don't do it.
What are you talking about the fucking potatoes? What are we doing with potatoes?
What do you call a 7-course meal for an Irishman?
Fucking get it out there, man.
7-course meal for an Irishman is a 6-pack of beer and a potato. All right. That's our comedic moment.
Yeah.
Get right into this. We're going to talk about stress. What causes it? How do you recognize it? What are the manifestations on you as an individual? Mm-hmm. Things that you can look for, and how do we deal and cope with stress? How do we not only understand what it's doing to us, but how can we counteract the effects of it? So we're going to start off by giving the definition of stress. And I'm not exactly certain which source I got this from, but the source that I looked up defined stress as a state of mental or emotional strain or tension resulting from adverse or very demanding circumstances. Okay. So we all get stressed out. That is a part of life. Things happen where you just don't feel like you're in control and you're just like, you want to smash something, whether it's Hulk smash, whether it's She-Hulk smash, whatever. You just be like, so yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I find myself almost wanting to break things a lot. Unfortunately.
I will say that I have sprained a wrist punching the crap out of a pillow once or twice before. So we're gonna leave that alone. But anyway, so yeah, so getting into the heart of the matter, okay? So stress, how does it manifest? Like, Alamo, let's start with you, man. How do you know you're getting stressed out? And let's just imagine like people don't know what stress is. We're talking about it for the first time. So let's, as we said last week, break it down Barney style. So
honestly, like when I start getting elevated stress levels, I know for a fact that when I start getting stressed out, like a whole bunch of stuff, like a whole bunch of stuff starts just, it's like a freaking cavalcade, man. Just starts like a snowball going downhill. First things first, usually my body gets tight. I start getting real hot behind the ears. It's
tight
almost
like a tiger.
Oh, tight like a tiger.
Tight like a tiger.
And then what really starts happening is, it's like I don't go into a panic, but I definitely start trying to figure out like, okay, what's going on here? What am I going to do? Like, what the hell's going on? Because I'm looking to solve a problem. I'm looking to try and find a solution to fix a problem that I'm experiencing right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
I know that like the first thing one of the first things that I notice is my heart rate just starts just getting kind of really high.
Pulse rate goes up. Yeah, that's pretty common. Yeah.
And then pretty much all the other stuff I described kind of just follows one by one. But it's weird because not each one of those things happens in the same sequence all the time. But for certain, the first thing that always happens is that freaking heart rate just because like I can feel myself getting stressed out over I'll give you an example this week, man. Trying to figure out, where the money's going to go for the house and what all documents I'm trying to figure out, what documents I'm missing. Holy shnikes, freaking fee. Dude, when I tell you, make sure you got all your ducks in a row when you finally get a house. Make sure you got all your ducks in a row when you finally get a house. It really is stressful buying a house. Don't let anybody lie to you.
Sure.
They can make it easier on you, but buying a house is stressful as hell.
Did you use your VA loan?
Yeah, I did.
And it was still stressful.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, I'm not anywhere close to buying a house yet, but maybe one day. So yeah, and plus, I mean, you not only that, but I mean, you got to think about the obvious answer here. I mean, it's this as of the time of this podcast, it's Friday night, Friday the 13th. But the kids just started back to school, so you're talking about getting.
Sorry.
You're getting such a dork. No, but I mean, you have 2 kids. I have a daughter. You have 2 boys. So getting your kids back into school and everything, it's like you're trying to get them back into the routine involved. Next week you have next week. County. Well, hey, good. And that's the county that you're going to, like Volusia County.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Volusia County. Yeah.
So, did you want to add anything else to that, or do you mind if I jump in here?
Take it away, brother. I think I said everything I'm going to say.
So for me, stress, because it's not so much, because it's probably a safe assumption to say that there's always going to be stress at various levels throughout your day. It's not going to be like you wake up and it's like, oh my God, I'm in, the trenches in World War I, trying to stay alive in a mudslide, but not trying to get attacked by mustard gas. I'm not saying it's that severe. No. It's not that.
No, I understand you. Like, there's going to be those times where you're going to be like, oh, the fucking damn it, man. Yeah. And then there's going to be like, I just want to.
Like, I would imagine for some folks, something I wouldn't want to say stereotypical, but something that could be commonplace is, hey, I'm going to get a cup of coffee, and you go to your favorite place to get your morning cup of Joe or Java or whatever you call it, and the machine's broke, so they can't do that. Or if you get your coffee and then it just spills all over your car and stuff, you're just like, that's awesome. I have 2nd-degree burns on my ankles. Fantastic. Yeah.
I hate spilled coffee. It really.
I mean,
upsets me.
your car smells wonderful. You're like, hazelnut.
Yeah.
But for me, I kind of start feeling stressed when it gets to a point where it affects me. It's usually at a little bit of a higher level of stress. And my biggest thing is that I start to have some issues keeping my thoughts together, like trying to focus on a task or this and that. Like I find myself getting a little bit mentally distracted here and there from time to time.
Yeah.
I'm not as easy. I'm not as I can still focus, but it's not as, as quick, as efficient, or as composed. My thoughts are not as composed as they probably once were. So, and the reason we bring this up is, we were, like I said, we were talking about doing something else, but we were both been kind of had a stressful weekend, some stressors in our weekly routines. So we're like, let's do this instead. I think this would be cool. So another purpose we want to bring this up is this is something that's going to happen. If for the folks out there that were in the military, if you've, thought about joining the military, know that you're going to have some stress. And I don't mean to say that as me trying to make the understatement of the century. You're going to get stressed out. Know that and prepare for that. I mean, I can tell you, like, I remember going and, because when I went up to Benning for basic, I was in a cargo van with like 10 other dudes. We get there super late one night. And I think we told this story in
I think it might have been the earlier.
It might have been the first episode. Yeah. One of the previous episodes we discussed it. So I'm not going to go into too much, but I was sitting in the middle row right by the door. The door slides open, giant hulking dude with a brown round. He's like, "If you know what's good for you, you're going to get the hell off my van right now." And I'm just like, oh, what did I do? So like you could say at that point in time, my stress level was pretty high. And it's like, so, but at the same time, the reason why they introduce stress to you in the military and they push you to a very significant amount of stress is to make sure that you can operate it, at a level of stress and still can perform basic functions and stuff. So
they want to make sure that you can hang. They want to make sure that you can hang so that you don't essentially get other members of your group killed.
Injured or killed, absolutely. And so one quick side note, there's just a couple of people that we reached out to this week to kind of give some input. We're going to, address who those people are and kind of give our thanks stuff later in the episode. But one of the folks is a friend of mine.
I got some comments on the Instagram, believe it or not, but I'll go into that later.
We have an Instagram?
Well, I'm working on that part, but I've been posting it on my Instagram.
Okay, so that's a little bit of stress right there. The fact that we have an Instagram page in the making that I knew nothing of because I don't do crap on Instagram. That's like it's momentary stress of looking really ridiculous in front of our viewers. I'm just like,
it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be
everything's gonna be okay. So a friend of mine is finishing up his master's in psychology. So I kind of reached out to him and was like, "Hey, what do you have to say on what can you add input for on this topic?" And he said, "Well, you got to understand, we're pushed to that high level. So when it's time to go where the rubber meets the road, so to speak, you pretty much react. We override the natural. There's a thing called fight or flight, and we kind of override that flight tendency to go into the fight and be able to go do what we got to do job wise. So that's important. I forget what I was going to say there, but whatever. So like we said, that's just part of it. And, when we went through basic, you have the first 2 weeks of red phase. You don't talk to anybody. You've got 2 drill sergeants with you at all times. You're just constantly getting yelled at and your life is just miserable. And you're just really thinking, did I make a mistake here? Is this where I want to be in my life? How can I possibly get out of it? No, you don't. I mean, some people do, but whatever. But so, like I was saying, though, in your civilian life, that could be what's going on now. Kids are going back to school, establishing a new routine. You're starting at a new job, just figuring out where to go. If you have to travel, getting caught in that morning rush hour and or the evening rush hour traffic. Like, that's got to be stressful as crap, man. It's terrible, you know. One of the other things that I feel happening is I'll start to sweat a little bit. Like, I'll get a little bit, you know, moist in certain areas, like, you know, the pits and, you know, around my neck. Usually I'll start to feel it's getting really sweaty, and I'm just like,
the butt crack.
I don't know why you said that. I did not bring that up. The views of my co-host are his and his alone, and do not reflect anything that I'm trying to think about right now. Anyway, so we're just start doing that. If
it's bad. It's true.
It's well. Hey, that's whatever. That's you. I mean, whatever. So yeah. So I find myself. What do they say is the first step? Acceptance, admittance. Admitting you have a problem. Hi. You know what? That's going to be a terrible bit. We're not even going to do that. We're
okay, so let's get serious on this.
Focusing, get serious. Anyway, so yeah, I kind of find myself, I'll start to sweat a little bit. Sometimes I'll just kind of find myself just going, or I'll have trouble composing words, like kind of like with my thoughts and whatnot. So if I get to that point, I usually realize, you know, hey, I might need to step it back a little bit just to be able to keep my composure. I don't like, personally, you know, as an individual, I don't like to get to that point where I'm not in control of my faculties, which is why I don't, you know, and I'm not saying anything bad for those that do. If you like to go out and enjoy, you know, an occasional adult beverage, or you want to drink with your friends and stuff, I just don't ever get blackout drunk. I'm usually the one that people are like, hey, can I get a ride? Can you drive me home? I have no problem being the DD, because I'm not usually that kind of person that goes and gets just annihilated, because that's just not ever how I've done that kind of stuff. So I don't like not having control of what's going on. And for the same reason, for the stress, if I find myself getting to that point, I'll just kind of be like, okay, let me just take this back a notch or two, and we're fine. So, but yeah, I mean, it's fair to say stress is in our everyday lives, especially not only the fact of what's going on now with kids going back to school, but just the past year and a half with all of the pandemic going on and the business closures. And I mean, that's a whole conversation in itself. We're not trying to make this a political thing, but it's been crazy. I mean, you get all of the lockdown, then you have the lockouts, the restrictions getting lifted, and then the cases are blowing up again. You got to lock them back down, you know, and kind of reinforce those kind of restrictions. So so it's a bit crazy. So Alamo, let me ask you this, man. How do you find yourself mitigating stress and or dealing with stress? What do you do to help yourself kind of get to the point of maintaining a nice amount of homeostasis and keeping yourself on the level and even keeled?
For me, I would say it's more of a thing of like I have to do something physical, especially because like I'm ADHD, so I
go to the gym.
I got to do something that occupies my mind, gets my mind off of everything. I exercise. So when you exercise, all type of things happen in your body. Chemicals release, endorphins, all types of great stuff.
Cortisol,
you know, it starts with what you're doing when you're, you know, getting the tension and you're lifting, you're throwing steel up in the air and all that good stuff. I mean, you're basically releasing into your body all the feel good chemicals that are necessary.
Endorphins,
yes, that prevent you.
That's my SAT word for the day.
Yeah, that prevent you from basically losing your mind. That's why I've been, when I haven't had the chance to do it in the last week or two because of the move, but when I've been going to the gym and things like that, I've been posting videos on it because it's such a good outlet for me. You know, I want to try and encourage others to try and, if, you know, they're having trouble finding their outlet, if they're having trouble finding their way of, you know, trying to, you know, push off some stress and not get too out there, you know, I'm trying to convince people like, look, physical activity may only be like anywhere between, I can't remember what the statistics are. It's usually, I think I'm hearing sometimes between 30 to like 10% of what, goes on up here. But if you focus really hard on that physical aspect and you treat it like it's 100% of the, like, kind of like your fix, your mental state improves. There's so many different, bits of science on what physical activity does for the body to prevent in stress mitigation and just regulation of the heart, and not to mention getting you a better sleep cycle. That it's amazing, man. That's why I do it. I stopped for a long time, gained like 45 pounds. I did not feel good about my shelf. Let's just put it that way.
You were rocking the dad bod. So hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
I was rocking the dad bod, but I know I wasn't feeling good.
Welcome to the club, bro. So
I'm getting back there, homie.
You're getting back to being a stud. Absolutely.
Damn right.
If you folks could have seen this guy in high school, I mean, holy crap, the guy had a six-pack in high school, and I was just like, fuck, seriously? And there's also this great picture. I think it was when you were up at Fort Lewis, where you're like rock climbing, and you're just literally just like holding yourself sideways off the side of this rock. And I'm like
or the flagpole, yeah.
What the fuck is this? Seriously? So real quick though, I wanted to kind of interject something real quick, and it's funny that this is brought up. So you talked about, you've been busy the past week or so with the move and preparing and such for that. So one of the other folks that I reached out to during the week, her name's Linda. Linda is also a friend of ours from high school, and she has a channel that she does on Facebook. I believe maybe there's some videos on YouTube. I'm not 100% certain. But we'll give information on that. She is a holistic health and wellness coach. And one of the things that she talked about when it comes to stress is identifying changes in the routine and then also consistency. So, having like, everybody's been at that point. Everybody's had that experience where, holy crap, I overslept, I'm late for work. And your mind just kind of, and you just kind of full alarm response. You're just like, oh, I gotta get to work. I don't want to get fired. I don't want to get in trouble. And you kind of just go about it that way. So if you're and it happens. I mean, hey, we're human. It happens. You don't set your alarm. Your phone dies. You don't plug it in. Nobody's perfect, and nobody's expected to be perfect. At least nobody should hold himself to being perfect, because it's probably not that attainable. But I try to be human
is to be imperfect. We're all imperfect.
Exactly. So one of the things that I try to go for is consistency. Like I make sure when I come in the door at home, I put my keys in the same spot. We have a key rack right by the front door, and I don't put my keys there. I'm like, where the frick did I put my freaking keys? And blah, blah, blah. And it's just
the feeling. Like, I have the same thing.
You put your wallet in the same spot. You put your keys in the same spot. Put your phone and all this other stuff. And it's just like, So, yeah. I mean, it's just like, so absolutely. But there was something else I was going to say to that. I forget what the heck it was, but anyway, so routines are kind of important, if you can get yourself in a routine and whatnot. But so you were talking about going to the gym. That's kind of your thing. And what other kind of techniques do you use?
It's the other thing that I do is probably not for everybody, and it's actually something that a friend of mine actually on the Instagram, after I shared our post, she covered it too. She kind of double tapped on it. Was prayer. Again, it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. Again, I'm a man of faith. I believe in God. So for me, I know for a fact that, again, it's another thing where there's a lot of studies that show that when you get into prayer and you sit there and you pray anywhere between, it doesn't have to be like an hour or anything like that. You could do it for like 5 to 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes out of your day. It puts you in almost like a kind of like a meditative state.
A good headspace, yes,
right. And when you pray about, just keeping yourself calm, just keeping yourself, what you call it. Again, it's one of those things where you're connecting yourself with something. In my personal opinion, that's a little bit higher than yourself. Mm-hmm. And when you allow yourself to be a little bit more vulnerable, you allow yourself to be more, I guess, it allows you to become a little bit more relaxed, which I find very, very helpful. Very helpful.
That same friend that I was mentioning, Linda, she also talks about, and again, one of the first things she said is, hey, it's not for everybody, but she talks about like meditation. I think she does some sessions with some folks, like guided meditation, whatnot. So I'd be willing to try that once or twice. Yeah. So for, and it's funny, I just thought about this too. So, working with, children that have behavioral special needs and whatnot, I work at a preschool where the teachers are fantastic. They have a lot of, follow-on training, not just their normal, here's how to be a teacher stuff. It's other practices like conscious discipline, it's kind of helping them to stay calm and focused and whatnot. And one of the things that they use to keep the kids kind of in that same good headspace is they use the acronym STAR. And I've seen people do this all the time. It's stop, take a deep breath, and relax. And I was just like, oh yeah, that absolutely makes sense. And sometimes it's just as simple as that. They even have they use a lot of these little mnemonic devices that they use. They usually have a song that goes along with them, and it's so funny because like I'll find myself sitting in traffic driving somewhere, and because I work so much at a preschool around preschool kids, and you hear the same songs and all this stuff over and over again, I'll just be sitting here singing them like, stop, take a deep breath, and relax. And then you're at a red light and you realize the person next to you is just looking at you like, what are you doing? And I'm just like, if you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah. Now for me, the way that I kind of help mitigate and dealing with stress is I try to do something physical every once in a while. Like, I don't do it as much because I've been working recently, but like my mother has been, she goes out and walks like 3 miles every morning just to kind of, get into a little bit better state of healthiness and a little bit more physical fitness in her life and whatnot. And it's like, yeah, absolutely. So, not only that, but sometimes like even though she'll walk, I'll put on like I've got like a tack vest that's got a bunch of stuff in it. Not so much that I need it, but it's just weight and it's just some kind of stress where I can just kind of go and have that physical exertion, so to speak.
It forces your body to work a little harder to get you the feeling that you want to feel.
Yeah. So
it's understandable.
There's that. I'll use the breathing thing. Like I recently discovered, so on my phone, I have a Samsung. So I know all you folks out there that are iPhone people are just going to be like, because it's, there's with a lot of things. With a lot of things in society, you kind of get classed. You're either a car guy or you're a truck person. You're a dog person or a cat person. You're an iPhone person or a Droid person. Well, I'm a Droid guy, whatever. But I recently discovered when I was going on these walks with my mom, I have an app on my phone called Samsung Health. And one of the components of it, not only does it track like how far you've gone, like I can program it to say, hey, I'm going to walk 3 miles. So keep track of this, and all this kind of stuff. But it actually has a function of the app where you just sit there and you do guided breathing. So like you'll do,
I did not know that was a feature of Google Health.
Well, it's not Google Health; it's Samsung Health. It's
Samsung Health.
So like,
my bad.
It'll tell you. It'll play a certain tone, like, and you breathe in for 5 seconds, and it plays a lower tone, and you breathe out for 5 seconds, and you can do that as many times as you want, and like it just really helps for whatever reason, just to kind of sit there and you just breathe and you just focus on that diagram or that icon that's on the screen, because it has a little circular gauge of when you stop and then when you exhale, when you inhale, exhale, that kind of stuff. But dude, it just helps. Like I find, like if I just had a lot of physical exertion, I'll do that, and it just seems to help kind of get me back to just some more calm kind of being, so to speak, a lot faster, which is cool.
Nice.
One of the things that I do, not only to kind of help me deal with stress, but like to kind of, if I can prevent the stress, is I'll sit there and I'll engage in something, some kind of distraction. Like I know a lot of guys do have hobbies or whatnot. I watch a lot of just videos and stuff on YouTube that'll just kind of keep me calm and stuff. Like I don't, my same friend I mentioned earlier, we'll hang out a lot and we'll just sit here and we'll watch videos, with everything going on. He's working on his, he's like, I would say 9/10 of the way through with his master's. And, with my job, it can be a little bit rough at times, because you work with kids that may have some not so nice tendencies when it comes to behavior, trying to be physically aggressive or whatnot. And we'll just leave that alone. But sometimes you have a rough week and it's just like, and we do a really good job of just kind of keeping each other in check. Like, hey, let's hang out. Let's kind of just talk and just kind of unload all the stuff that's happened. But we sit and we'll watch videos, just stuff on YouTube, like we're interested. Like he has a Jeep. He's a Jeep guy. So we'll just watch Jeep videos and, nothing that's going to be politically charged, nothing like news or politics or anything like that. Just something that's like, a video that somebody made, and just be like, oh, that's cool. And we'll just have a discussion about something that we're interested in. If I can do it, if I can afford it, I absolutely love to go shooting. I know there's people out there that aren't, firearm people, but like, I just find that process to be just so cathartic. You sitting there and you focus in on all the small details, my stance, my posture, my grip, presenting the firearm onto the target, when to pull the trigger, that just really helps me to do all that kind of stuff. I mean, I haven't done it in a while, but
I don't think there's anything more. I don't think there's anything more relieving. Some trigger time. Some trigger time is always nice. I have had to, for lack of better terminology, I have had to fulfill that need for trigger time by playing video games. And it's nice, you get the recoil vibration from the controller, and it's just like, oh yeah, boom, 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 yay. Take that, 11-year-old.
Yeah.
And you missed the part about the 11-year-old.
I heard you. I didn't want to go down that rabbit hole, my man.
It's like, yeah, you doo-doo head, shut up. Well, actually, now they full blown cuss, but either way, though, man, that's how I've been fulfilling. Is like I've been playing games.
How funny would it be to find out that's like a preacher's kid, and he's just like, oh, you're Johnny X14. Okay, I got your number. Hey, preacher, what's going on? Do you know what your son does? Yeah, he's not acting very Christian. But hey, man, we all have those other parts of our life. But it's funny. You talked about the distraction of it, and you mentioned something about just having that need to help just escape and whatnot. I remember I remember very distinctly when I was in basic, one of my drill sergeants, and I forget which one said it, but they were like, listen, we were doing BRM, basic rifle marksmanship, which when we went through, it was about 3 weeks, just learning the weapon system, learning how to function it, learn how to do, what sports was, and learn, all the stuff that goes along with that. But I had somebody made the comment, they're like, listen, because basic training, I mean, especially when I went through, you're training to go to war. It's 03. Yeah. Iraq had just kicked off. Afghanistan was in full swing. Like, you're going to go over and fight somebody. And one of the guys was like, listen, he's like, imagine each bullet you fire, you're sitting there on the range, okay? And like subconsciously, with every round you fire, focus on your fundamentals of marksmanship. Your sight alignment, your trigger squeeze, your breathing, all that stuff. But just take a little bit of something that's bugging you, and just kind of piggyback it onto that bullet, shoot it down range and just get rid of it. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. And it just, for whatever reason, dude, it worked for me. So that helped me out a lot in basic. And then the other thing that helped me get rid of stress was just, you talk about being a man of faith. My parents, when they were younger, they were both Catholic. So I would go with some other guys and go to Catholic Mass at the Regimental Chapel right there on Sand Hill. And it just kind of gave me that shot in the arm to, get rid of the stress and just kind of amp myself up for the next week. So it's like, yeah, man, absolutely. It's like
my drill sergeants just told me to get on the Modus and scream die motherfucker die, but we won't get into that.
We were talking about church, man. Come on, really? Jeez, man. So yeah, so whatever, it's all good. So whatever you need to do, I mean, whether it's prayer, meditation, whether it's distracting yourself, there's a lot of different things that I watch on YouTube, and I try to use humor. I try to watch funny stuff. There's this guy that I told Alamo about here this last week. He has a YouTube channel called The Fat Electrician, and this guy has these 3-minute videos where he talks about different jobs in the military, and he talks about being like an infantryman. And if you were an 11 Bang Bang or like an 0311 or an 03 series guy in the Marine Corps, because that's infantry career field, you would associate with it. You're like, yeah, that's hilarious as hell.
I watched that 3-minute video. Was yesterday, and I was stressed out. Like I was really like getting to that. I was, my anger was getting all twisted up or whatever, and I was getting really upset and just whatever. And then I watched that video. That 3 minutes, literally, I kid you not, changed the entire rest of my day.
Oh yeah,
just sitting there and watching that video and him making comments like these guys are, these guys.
The infantry can only be deployed.
Huh?
The infantry can only. Yep. The infantry can only be deployed by an act of Congress. So you have to do something so bad that Democrats and Republicans agree. And if you're going to screw up really bad, they will air delivery. Or
he said it was. They will overnight airship these fuckers to your front doorstep.
That's it. They're going to turn your country into the next game of Hunger Games, and you're going to fuck around and find out and see what a young person will do for free education.
A young American will do for a free education.
But yeah, I mean, I use a lot of humor, sarcasm, satire. There's and especially for folks that were military, just because having those experiences, you're going to get that kind of humor, some of the shows on Vet TV are awesome. I haven't seen any of them, but I've seen clips of them and they're really funny.
I really am thinking about getting a subscription to that shit, because I have it on my Xbox, and I've been so tempted to do the subscription.
Dude, it's $5 a month. I might just do that, dude.
Is it really? I thought it was like 10 or 12. Shit,
no,
$5.
It's only like $5. Like, we should do that, and we'll come over and we'll hang out and be stupid. Yeah. But videos like that, like what the other ones? Oh, what's the one I sent you? The guys from Black Rifle. Those are all military guys, so they just make fun of just goofy shit all the time.
Everything.
And if you can just sit there and laugh at stuff, like especially if I'm getting stressed out, I'll just like kind of go sit down somewhere. I put these headphones on, turn on my tablet, and I'll just sit there and just watch something. Just be like, have some me time.
I'm addicted to being tactical.
Oh yeah, that's another good one.
It was a great video. Did you watch that one?
I did. Yeah, I sent it to you there.
Oh yeah, you did. Damn, I forgot about that. It's been a long week.
So like we were, it's been a long week. So like we were saying, there's a lot of different ways you can do it.
Yes.
One of the things, like especially for folks that you might. I was given a good example. Like, you have somebody who might be suffering from PTSD. Yeah. And if you have it to the point of being severe enough, driving on a road back home or in country here, back in the US can be stressful. You sit there and you might be freaking out, thinking, okay, there might be something over there into that. People staying in the center lane so they're not on the edges of the road where they normally would plant that kind of stuff.
I can agree with that, man. I broke out in sweats driving the first week I was home because we had guys that got fucking hit by that shit when we were over there, man. So when I got home, like it was jarring because I knew I was home, but but my mind was still.
You were still at that high op tempo and that mental state of high readiness. Yep.
Yeah, and this was before Tampa actually started getting really good at like cleaning up the roadways.
Yeah,
they've gotten. I'm not going to say they've gotten great, but they've gotten better.
It's gotten a lot better. I mean, the city has definitely gone through some really good changes in the last decade. I mean, especially recently. Yeah. I mean, it's inviting. There's a lot of people moving down here, man. It's crazy. Yeah. So one of the last ways that we're going to talk about is something called grounding. And one of the easy things you can do, like that situation I was talking about, you have somebody, kind of sitting in traffic, freaking out, thinking they're going to get ambushed or whatnot.
Yeah.
Grounding is just simply just kind of stopping and just taking stock and taking notice of what's around you. You're like, hey, I'm in my car. I'm in Tampa, Florida.
Yep.
I'm going to Best Buy to look at a PS5. I am okay. Just kind of take notice and understand and comprehend what's going on around you. I don't necessarily want to say situational awareness because that may not have the context that we're kind of looking for here, but just be conscientious of what's going on. You're like, hey, I'm stuck in some traffic. Okay. Don't be in a rush, because what happens when you're in a rush, man? People start driving crazy and then things happen and accidents and all that kind of junk. And, it's something that could alter your life. So just kind of be aware of that. So one of the last things that I wanted to hit on before we end the show, and we're going to try to keep it short because we've had a couple of long ones recently. So kind of going back to what we were talking about with our friend Linda, she kind of gave some stuff here. We were on the phone for probably like a good 20, 30 minutes, and she just pew, 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 like rapid fire Gatling gun, just throwing facts my way. And I'm sitting there trying to type on my phone. I'm like, oh, this ain't working. I'm going to have to try to remember this stuff. So Linda, I apologize if I didn't get all this stuff, but I did kind of tell you that. You threw so much out there because you're just a wealth of knowledge. And I was just like, I'll try to get a third of that, maybe. So, some really good tips, because like I said, she does holistic wellness, and that's mind, body, and spirit. So, one of some tips that she talked about for kind of helping to mitigate and possibly avoid stress is, besides identifying changes in your routine and understanding consistency, give yourself plenty of time to recover and recuperate. If you've gone through something kind of taxing and whatnot, give yourself time to just kind of get your head right, so to speak. In the morning, she says, when I first wake up, I give myself an hour just to kind of give myself peace and gratitude. I'm living in the moment, and I don't touch my phone. I don't get on Facebook and social media, because let's face it, that's kind of a big thing is people, and how often people are just like immediately like, and they just jump right on the phone. So she's like, at the beginning of the day, at the end of the day, I give myself an hour. I'm free of that stuff. And I'm just kind of like calm, cool, collected, living in the moment, and, all that kind of junk. When you are in a stressful mood, it causes your brain to go into survival mode. And I think that's kind of maybe what I was talking about earlier. Just, I find my thoughts becoming a little more like splotchy and just like here, there, and it's not that smooth, even line of having not a rational thought, but just a thought of, a train of concentration, so to speak. So, yeah. So, a lot of good information there. So real quick, I just want to give her the shout out. So her name's Linda. She has a channel on Facebook called Instinctive Saol. It's spelled S-A-O-L, and that is the Irish word for life. So it's Instinctive Saol, S-A-O-L. Check it out. She's got a lot of good stuff on there, talking about just giving yourself, healthy mind, healthy body, healthy spirit. So, Linda, thank you so much for helping to contribute to this episode and whatnot.
We love you, girl.
We love you. So when it comes to, some military, things, think about this, how do they teach you to cope? A lot of times they teach you to cope with alcohol, tobacco, for somebody like me who doesn't use that stuff, I would get stressed out, man. I'd put a big old thing of sunflower seeds, and that was how I did it. And then, of course, especially all of us in our generation, man, we got that wicked, dark sense of humor. So not wicked, Dak, like we're from Austin, but just that warped, dark sense of humor. So, just kind of understand that. So
I could say stories, but we're not going to.
Yeah, I'm sure you could, man. We could definitely get into some stories and get lost in the weeds, but we're trying to keep this a shorter episode this week. So, but I want to give a special shout out to my pal Brian. He is finishing up his master's in psychology. So, congrats on getting close to the finish line on that, pal. I know you've been busting your butt on that. So, but so I think we're kind of sort of at the end already, which is kind of weird because we're only been on for a short time, but. Yeah, we did plug all that kind of junk. We did plug Linda's channel, shout out to Brian. So thank you both very much for helping to contribute to the episode. We greatly appreciate it. And we are going to try to do some more stuff down the road where we possibly have a guest on our show, all that kind of stuff. But
we're working on it. We got some stuff in the works.
Yes. So with that being said, we're going to start, closing out the show. Tell us, give us a shout, drop us a line on Facebook. Tell us what you do for stress, how you, prevent it, how you mitigate it, how you kind of deal with it after it's happened. What are some of your hobbies? I know there's a great guy on YouTube. His name is Pat McNamara. He was a retired sergeant major out of special operations for the Army. And this guy is like, you see this dude, he's a hardcore looking dude. Like he's got this crazy, awesome beard.
Average dude stuff.
Basic dude stuff. Yes.
Oh, basic dude stuff. Yes.
He's got a great set of videos on YouTube called Basic Dude Stuff. I think he just put out like the 21st video, but it's just simple things. Like he talks about gardening, and he actually is a pretty he's a pretty experienced bird watcher, and he does like pencil drawings, and you're just like, wow, like this guy's really good. But just simple things. Like, he does a lot of stuff on working out and whatnot, but it's things that, helps keep in that right kind of mind and all that kind of stuff. So there's plenty of ways to do it. Check it out, kind of keep yourself from, going down that road. And on that note, we are going to pull up
Bros Code.
The Bros Code. Anyway, let me pull that up real fast. So, okay. So for those of the folks at home that are watching for the first time, so we kind of came up with the Bros Code, and what the Bros Code is basically just kind of like a little mantra to keep yourself on the right track. And what's important about it,
Jocko would say, keeping yourself on the path.
On the path, exactly. So he knows more about Jocko than I do. So, yeah.
Jocko, if you ever see this, you're the man.
Get that little shout out right there. So, we were thinking about, what we could do to just remind people that, no matter what, you're going to go through things. You're going to be stressors. What can you do to go through these things and fight your way to the other side? So this is something that we came up with after kind of collaborating a little bit and thinking about it, and like thinking of something that is easy to remember, an easy mnemonic device, but something that just kind of goes with, what our show is about and what, some things that we've gone through and things that are just, I'm going to shut up. We're just going to get into this. So yeah, the Battle Bros Code. I'm a terrible salesman. So just remember to beat it's bros. It's not bras. There's no you in that. Enunciate, you dingbat. Anyway, the B in Bros Code stands for be tenacious in everything you do. Don't half-ass things. Life is too short. If you're going to do something, do it to the fullest extent possible. Do it with vigor. Do it tenaciously. Be tenacious in everything you do.
Yeah.
Refuse to surrender. Things are going to come up. Things are going to knock you down onto one knee, onto two knees, knock your face in the dirt. That's fine. Get up, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, dust yourself off, find your distance, find your direction, and move out and just keep going. Okay. Don't ever stop. Don't ever quit. Even if you got to come at it from a different angle, you got to flank around from the side and, hit it from that side, whatever you got to do. Obliterate your obstacles. Don't let little things get in the way. Okay. If you want something enough, you're going to find a way to get to that OBJ, that objective. All right. Whether it's, I need to finish my degree, but I don't know what else to do. Go talk to a financial advisor. Go talk to a student counselor. USF has an office for veteran success. So there's resources out there. Go find it. Go, utilize it. Go learn the rules and learn what you can't do so you can play the game to the best rules you can and get around this. Okay, I'm getting in the weeds here. So let me just obliterate your damn obstacles, people. Outstanding. Cool. All right. Most importantly, seek out a friend in a time of need. For those that, are watching for the first time, we started this podcast after we found out that a friend of ours had committed suicide. And I don't know if he was able to reach out to somebody, but we don't want to let that happen to anybody else. 22 veterans a day commit suicide, and it's 22 too many. One is too many.
Way too damn many.
But it's even worse when one of those 22 is somebody because now it's we had a group chat going after we found out about John, and a bunch of these people were like, geez, if anybody needs anything, man, fucking reach out. Don't go through this shit by yourself because it's not worth it. It's really not. And in case you don't have a friend, you can always go to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255. Again, that's 1-800-273-8255. No matter what, there's somebody there that will be able to talk to you and just listen, because that's a lot of times that's all people need. As my co-host Alamo says all the time, man, what makes you feel better is just talking about shit. You don't want to go through this alone, and you don't want to make a temporary problem and solve a temporary problem with a permanent solution, like what we're talking about. So that's important. We know right here with these two guys, this guy knows he can count on me. And I know I can count on this guy. So that's super, super, super important. I don't know if you're still looking at the picture, but that would be helpful, Alamo. So,
of course.
Okay.
Yeah, man. It's he's right. I stress it all the time, man. If you the best healing for I'm like dog tired. The best healing for your mind is just to talk about the problems you're having. Sometimes it could be as simple as talking to if you got a significant other, just talking to your significant other about it. If you got a freaking battle buddy that's bruh, he's your guy, freaking you're always on the phone with him because that's your freaking dude. That's the guy you go out and drink with. That's the guy. Yeah, wait, hold on. Wait. Hey! But yeah, man, you call that son of a bitch,
dude. The only bad.
Hey, motherfucker, I feel like shit. Let's go talk about some shit. And more than likely, they'll be like, yeah, let's do it.
Real quick, the only bad thing about that is that's a visual joke. So the people on the podcast are going to be like, why did they get quiet? What are they doing? So yeah, you're gonna have to go back and watch it on YouTube, folks, because it just makes a lot more sense.
But yeah,
no, not that way. It's a reference to that joke from a movie, but you just have to watch the replay on YouTube.
But yeah, I mean, honestly though, yeah, man, that's really all I got. I like I said, I'm dog tired, so I got blah blah.
That's another reason why we're trying to keep it short, folks, because we don't just like sit here like they started rambling and I don't know what they're talking about. So, but yeah, we've had a couple of long episodes. So we want to try to keep it short because you know, more than an hour, that's a little bit of a commitment to sit down and watch something. But for those of you that do it, we love you. We appreciate it. That's awesome. We appreciate the listenership. You know, I was looking on our Facebook page. We're up above, I think, 132. I think is what we're at right now.
I think we're at 132 followers.
People that followers. It's like we're 6 episodes in. It's like that's insane.
Yeah.
The fact that we have that many followers. Like, first off, it's so awesome. It's so fucking awesome to just see people that are like, yes, absolutely. It's so humbling to see people out there and they're just like, hey man, it's all the podcasts. That's pretty cool. Like, yeah, tell your friends about it. That's great. You know, it's cool that when you take up a cause that you really wholeheartedly believe in and can just feel with every bit of bone and sinew in your body that you're just like, this is what we're supposed to be doing. But when you share that with your friends, it's what drives us to keep this going and to put on a good podcast every single week. So
hell yeah.
You know, it's just like I tell them all the time, I'm like, dude, it's Friday, you know, it's podcast day. Hey, it's gonna be awesome. So, but again, you know, wrapping this up, we just want to say, you know, thank you again for listening. You know, please, if you have the chance, go on our Facebook page on one of our posts from today. Tell us, how do you know, how does stress affect you? What do you do to handle it? How do you cope with it? How do you deal with it?
Exactly.
We'd love to know, because if anything, if there's people out there that don't have tools or tips to do that, share them with a friend. You know, let's make the whole group, you know, all of the followers better. You know, they may not have the same way you do it, and then maybe they find something new and go, shit, this is what I've been needing. Thanks, bro. Sure thing, man. Bro.
Just because the live broadcast is over doesn't mean we can stop. You got to stop commenting. Keep commenting. Drop those comments in there. Let us know what you think, man. Let's get a conversation going. Let's get a whole bunch of people involved. Let's see what everybody thinks, what everybody, you know, is up to, what everybody does about it. You know,
it's kind of like we want to make a community here. It's kind of like when you go, you know, like I use my buddy for example. He's a Jeep guy. So like you go to some of these like Jeep meets and you just talk to other people about, you know, what they do and what works for them, or just bouncing ideas off each other. Like, hey man, I like your rig setup. Like, how did you do this? Because I was thinking about doing something similar. And next thing you know, you're swapping phone numbers and you're having a damn grand old time and you're doing cool stuff, you know? And like, that's what we want to try to do here, is to make a community all about veterans. We want to try to help veterans find their way, because a lot of times after they separate from the military, they get a little bit lost. But you know what? You're not alone. You're not lost. We want to take you in. We want to help you out. And that's what we're going to try to keep doing. So
damn straight.
So again, thank you all for watching. This has been episode 6, boiling point of the Battle Bros podcast. Once we get done, it'll get posted within usually a day or so on one of the many streaming apps. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, you've got the Anchor app. You can also watch the replay on YouTube if you're a visual person. If you want to sit there and stare at our, you know, his good looking self and this ugly mug right here. Yeah, exactly. Shut up, dude. Didn't say a damn thing, but I'm just like, shut up, dude. So, but yeah, you know, we love, you know, putting on a cool show for you guys. Hopefully it's entertaining, but we're also learning something too.
Absolutely, man. This is making us do research that we normally wouldn't do on our own.
Yeah, like you're learning stuff about what we're talking about, but we had to learn it to present it to you guys. And like
exactly.
For content purposes. Like, that's cool. So, but just know that, you know, we're gonna have some more serious conversation and stuff. We're gonna laugh. We're gonna cry. We're gonna, you know, maybe just kind of have some emotional stuff going on. But you know what? That's okay, because sometimes life sucks, but sometimes it doesn't, and it doesn't when you're with a group of friends. You know, I can call this guy anytime I need to and just be like, hey dude, I'm not touching your tip again, so don't even ask. I'm like, just this guy over here. The sight gags just are not going to translate over to the freaking radio, unfortunately, but
yeah, I know,
over to the audio. But so anyway, so we're going to close it out. We want to just say thank you so much. If you showed up for the first time, we love you. We appreciate it. We want to say thank you so much. If you're coming back, hell, we love you too. This has been an awesome experience. Every week that we get to do it, we're having fun, and we do it for you guys. So until next week, episode 7, we don't know what the hell it is yet because we've got to figure that out. But we just want to say thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And thanks for being part of the Bro Legion. Thanks for watching the show. Thanks for everything. Thanks for keeping us humble. Which is important. So
damn straight.
Yeah, we want to say thank you. We can't say it enough. Look out for your friends out there. Look out for each other. Stay safe. Stay sharp.
Keep your battle bros safe.
Look out for your battle bro. Just remember the bros code. Okay, that helps. I promise you. We didn't just make it up because it sounds cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we had to make it pertinent.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah.
So
unlike that, let's say next week, episode 7. We'll see everybody there. This is Alamo
and Mac for the Battle Bros podcast. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in a week. So y'all take it easy, and just know that we love you. Appreciate it, and we'll talk to you later.